Hi everybody. Today in this session we will check how to write a data into a Excel file using Talend. So for that I have already created a job here, and I need a for this I need a source file, and the data from the source I need to write it into a Excel file. So source file, in the earlier session I have created the t file output delimited metadata. I'll reuse the same thing here. So this is my input, and the output will be I want to put the data into Excel file. So for that I need to go to palette, under file, under output. I will get t file output Excel. Let me drag that and bring it to the designer. Let me right click and connect both the component. Now let's set the property for t file output Excel. If I want the data to be in Excel 2007 file format, then I can check this. If not, then no need to check on that. File name, I can define a file name here. And there are different tabs. So what should be the tab name of the first tab? So I can mention it here. The by default is sit one. So I can make it as a T1. Let me change it to T1. If I want to have a header, then I can check this particular option. Now let me run this first. But before that, let me check, do I have any file in the output directory or not? Under talent file output, you can see it is clear. Now let's run the job. In the source data, I have four files. I have four records in the source data. So I can see the same data is now moved to the output. You can see the Excel file is created. This has four records. The source file has four records, and the tab it got created is with T1, and we have the header in it. Now let's check what all are the different rest options. If I want to append the same file again and again, then I can select on this append existing file, append existing sheet, and before that, let me just remove this and show you. Let me rerun it once again. You will see that the file will be overwritten. Wait, it will fail because the file is already open. So that's why it is not able to write that file. Let me close that and run once again. You can see the file got created. It's at 1221. And if I check the data, you can see it got overridden. Now, if I want to append the data to it, let me do that. So for that, I can go to component and append existing file. If I click on that, one more option will get open. It will be visible, that is append existing sheet. So I need to select both of them. Now let's run the job. Right, I need to close the file first. Now let me run once again. Now we can see the file got created. Let me reopen the file. Now you can see the data is getting appended one by one. So how many times I run, it will get appended to it. Now let's check the other options that we have. Let me uncheck this thing. Then is absolute Y position. So for this, so currently you can see the data that I'm writing starts from first column and first row. First column and first row. Suppose I want to start the data from this second row and from this C column. Okay. So for that I can always do that. So for that what I need to do? So my column will be C, that is my third column. So this first cell x-axis is my row. So row, let me make it 1, and column, let me make it 3. Y-axis is column. So let me run this job once. So in this case, it will start the row from second row onwards. It will skip that to first row. Let me run this. Sorry, the file is open. Now we can see the data got written into the file. Let's check the data. Now you can see here the first 3 record. We don't have any data in first 3 record. It is the what thing we have set. If you see the y-axis, we have mentioned that it is 3. So if you see the data, so y-axis 3, this is my y-axis. So 3 rows were skipped, and in the x-axis, this is my x-axis. So here you can see one space uh, mm, is kept as blank. It starts from the second position. This is my y-axis. And now you can see, if I see the data, if the data is very huge, let me modify the source data once. Let me show you what is the source data I'm using. Employee salary.csv. So I've opened this file. So let me do some changes to it. So let me just increase the length of a particular column. Let me save this. And now let's run the data. Now if you'll see this Raju Ranjan Srivastav, okay, I need to manually expand this particular column to see all the data. What is the complete data it is. Currently, this particular column is not fitting to the actual value. So it is taking the default setting. So for that to have the file with which fits into the data, so for that what I can do, I have an option here. So let me check how can I do that. In tFile output Excel, I have one option, define all columns auto size, or if I want to do the auto size for a specific column, I can select that, or I can do this auto size for all the columns. So let me select this all the columns, and now let me run it. Earlier we were manually expanding the column name just to check the actual value. Now let me run this. Let's check how the data is coming. Now you can see as we have selected auto size. So what is the current size of that particular column based on the value? It is becoming, it is automatically resizing that particular cell. And the sync column, if the source and the target is not in sync, so I can use the sync column. And here the way we have for other files, so if the directory is not there, then it will create the directory. And if there is no data in the source, then uh, then if the source there is no data, then the file is actually empty, so it will not create any output file. So this is option. So this is how we can write the data into Excel. But here one more question you might be having, like this is a file that I have created. So I can see I have only one tab, that is T1. Suppose I want to write some other data into a different tab into the same file. So how I can do that? So I can definitely do that. So for that, I need to have a separate subjob. If you see when I connected this two table, this two component, so it became a subjob here. It has a different color. Okay. So what I need to do, I need to create a different subjob. So for that, let me have one more input file. Let me have this particular input file, which I used in my last session, movie input file. And let me have t file out output Excel. Let me connect this to. So if you see, this became a subjob and this became a subjob. So what I need to do, I can put a dependency between this job, this subjob and this subjob. So how can I do that? If I right click on this T file output Excel, trigger on component OK, then I connect it here. Let me remove this and recreate it. So I'll bring this movie, then T file output Excel. Let me connect this to. And then I can connect this to. Then if I right click on this T file Excel, trigger on subjob OK, and I can bring it here and connect here. So what it will work, if this particular subjob is completed, that means if this where this subjob is getting completed, after writing all the data into T file output Excel 1, this particular subjob gets completed. So once this subjob is completed, then this particular subjob will work. So once this component is successfully loaded, it will trigger this particular subjob. So in this, let me modify this tFile output Excel. So I need to use the same file. So I will provide the same file name here. I can give the tab name is T2. There it was T1. I will have include header. Then as it is appending to the existing file, let me have this thing checked. Now let me run this particular job and let's see how the data comes. I think the file is open. That's why it is not opening. It is not writing. So I will select this particular append existing file for this T file output Excel. Now let me run it. I can see 4 records got inserted and here 2 records are inserted. Now let's check the data. So if you see here, T1, I have 4 records. T1, I have 4 records. Here I have T1. Then in T2 tab, I have 2 records that is coming from the JSON file. And here I have not used autofit. Here I have not used autofit. So that's why you can see here, I have not selected that autofit section, auto size section. So that's why it is taking the by default one. What is the by default size of the column? So that's why it is taking that. So we have checked how to write the data into Excel file, and even we have checked how to write different data in different tabs in the same Excel file. I hope this session is helpful for you. If you think this session is informative, then please like and share the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks everybody.